Hey guys, Richard Heine here. I often hear things like uh, learning language is really hard, or oh, I could never learn a foreign language, things like that. And I ask people why. And I would say the most two common replies, there are others, but these are the two most common ones I hear, is I don't have the time and I don't have the motivation to stick with it. These appear to be the two top reasons why people stop learning a language or never begin in the first place. It's like, oh, it's just so hard. It takes so much time to get to where I want to be that I never take action and I never start the actual process of learning. Well, let me tell you something about how long does it take to learn a language. When I started with my third language, Japanese, I was studying about 30 minutes a day, and I got to conversational level about 6 months, I would say. Every morning I would get up, I would make myself a coffee, and I would start. 30 minutes, one coffee. And then I would go on with my day, whatever it is, work, school. This was my morning ritual. And I must say it did become quite addictive because every morning I felt like I've already accomplished something that day. Like I got this feeling of accomplishment and progress because no matter how small the improvement was, I did improve and it was amazing feeling. And so I was pumped with positive energy into the day and I was just ready to tackle anything. This is definitely something that helped me stay motivated during this whole time. There were times where I had morning classes, maybe at 7 a.m., which meant I had to get up at 6 a.m. to make it for the class. And if I wanted my morning ritual to be done, then I had to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning because it takes me 30 minutes to kind of uh, boot up my brain, so to speak. When I was just going straight for school, then, it was no problem. I don't need to be fully awake to just walk to the school. Luckily, I wasn't driving, so I didn't need to be fully awake. But for studying, yeah, I need to be a little bit awake. So 5 a.m., 30 minutes to get my bearings, and then 30 minutes and my coffee, and I was done with my Japanese class. I can tell you this. Based on my experience with several languages, I can tell you for sure that it's better to study a little bit every day than a whole bunch once a week. So if you study 30 minutes a day, then in 1 week, that's a total of 3.5 hours, right? So I tell you, it's better to study 30 minutes a day than 3.5 hours on maybe Sunday or Saturday or whatever. It's sort of, because it's a daily exercise, it helps your brain to get accustomed to this new thing. Kind of like you kind of immerse yourself in the language. Of course, that's too strong a word for 30 minutes a day, but every day you get into the language for at least 30 minutes. And for those 30 minutes, you're just thinking that language, you just focus on that language, and that is very powerful and will help you gain that steady and ultimately successful progress. Of course, if you can study longer, then that's obviously better. If you can study hour, 2 hours, 3 hours every day, it's good. But it's important to do it every day rather than once a week. I know some people study uh, language 1 hour, 1 week, a week. Well, this is just not enough. You will be studying that language for 10 years, and even then you will have trouble speaking. So 30, at least those 30 minutes a day, I think that's a pretty magical number. Great to get started, to get you into that studying mood. And if you have a busy schedule, it's easier to fit in 30 minutes. I think every person has 30 minutes of their time somewhere in that day. There's 24 hours. There's no way you don't have free 30 minutes. Well, you can mix it up with some other activity you do, maybe eating. You can eat and study, watch a video, read a book while you're eating. You can combine it with another thing. Maybe you're commuting to work. Well, you can listen to some audio stuff on your way to work. Or you can go to work 30 minutes earlier and then you study in your office or something for 30 minutes. You can definitely fit in 30 minutes somewhere. The time is not a real issue here. Let me ask you, if there was something really important, if there was something you must do, what do? You do it, right? Of course, because it's a must. It's not a should. If it's a should, it's very easy to put it off until tomorrow. And guess what? Tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow will always be tomorrow. You have only today to work with. And yesterday will always be yesterday. It doesn't matter. Today is the only day you can work with. You have to make your studies a must, not a should. And it's not a really matter of can, it's a matter of want. I don't have the time. Stop coming up with stories and excuses why you don't have the time that you need to study the language. The only real reason why you cannot find the time is because you're associating the pain of learning with the activity. You feel like it's painful, like it's a chore. But you cannot focus on that. You have to focus on the pleasure that knowing the language, being able to speak it will bring you, will bring it into your life. I'll tell you right now, being able to speak with Japanese people in their native tongue, it's freaking amazing. Like, to me, that's amazing fulfillment. To be able to connect with these people from the other side of the planet, it's amazing. That right there is the biggest reward for me. To be able to go to Japan, being able to read the signs on the stores and ask the clerk what book she would recommend for me, or chit chat with the bartender and the people around me when I'm drinking a beer in a bar. That is exactly what makes all those hours I invested in the language worth it. So ask yourself, what pleasure does learning the language bring you? Go ahead, you can pause the video for right about now and just think about it for a second. What pleasure does learning the language bring you? Personally, I study for fun. I don't study it for work or whatever. I know some people are studying some languages because they have to for one reason or another. And I think that's even harder because you don't have that innate passion. You know, you don't start with that, oh my God, I really want to learn this thing. You kind of have to develop it. So, whatever is the case, I ask you, no matter how indirect it is, I ask you, what is the pleasure that knowing the language will bring you? What will it bring into your life? Whether it's watching movies in the native tongue, or moving to another country and working there, that opens up a lot of possibilities. Or maybe it's a promotion, maybe within your company. If you know this language, you will go step or two steps up right away. And what will that bring you? More money, probably, right? This promotion, yeah. What will you do with the money? Maybe you can, probably could afford the new car, maybe a good vacation, maybe you can move to the nice place that you saw earlier. Whatever it is, focus on that pleasure, the pleasure that knowing the language will bring you. And that's all. Once you find that pleasure, the ultimate pleasure that this language will bring you, then you focus on that, not on the pain. You focus, what's the metaphor? You focus on the carrot, not the stick. You know, the donkey has a stick in front of it with a carrot attached to it so that it would keep on walking no matter how far it is. Yeah, that's basically how you want to approach it. You want to focus on the carrot, not on the stick, not on how many steps you have to take to get it. You just focus on the carrot. And true enough, it will bring you results. Because if you just focus on the pain, then really the learning is a chore. And what's a chore? It's something nobody really wants to do. Maybe some crazy guy somewhere, or maybe you get some reward for it. But then, if that's the case, then you just again focus on the pleasure of receiving this reward, right? So what I'm trying to say, don't focus on the pain, focus on the pleasure. Now go ahead, leave me a like if you agree what I'm saying, or if you think I'm full of BS, then give me thumbs down. I don't care. I know this stuff works. I've proven to myself more than one time, so I'm good. But I'm curious what you think. Please go ahead. I hope this will help out someone with their motivation and stick with the language and eventually succeed. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this somewhere else than my blog, please go ahead there, check it out. I have some free goodies you can download for free. and that would help you with your studies of Japanese language. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next one.